are the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks is taking no shorts, just like winter. New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Go New York, go New York, go!
Hey everybody, it is the New York Knicks podcast, episode 653. Bet you never guess what we're going to talk about today.
I mean, if you would have told me in 2024, within a year's span, we would no longer have RJ Barrett and Julius Randle on the roster, I would have been like, no way. I gotta say, Leon Rose, for all, I mean, we talk about the trade in a second.
I thought we were just going to talk about Tyler Kolek all episode.
Kolek looks pretty good. I think he's gonna have a good rookie year.
We didn't do a reaction episode for the Kolek pick, so the time has come, folks.
I gotta say, Leon drops bombs, like just bombs. Like just the RJ trade was a bomb out of nowhere. Like holy shit! And this trade, I have been saying for so long. The frustrating thing is that I thought all the Karl Anthony Towns people online saying this is going to happen. There's a rumor. I thought it was just purely Knicks for clicks bullshit. I was just unbelievably shocked when this happened.
He hasn't had one move that's leaked beforehand.
I think the Derrick Rose move was leaked a little bit beforehand. Like, I mean, we saw that they were saying like a day or two beforehand that the Knicks were going to get Derrick Rose. Okay. That's a couple of years ago. And also this is like the big moves have been not. I mean, I guess you knew Jalen Brunson ahead of time also.
Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, but that was more of like a free agency signing, not a trade.
No, in fairness, also it was hey, what was leaked was that Leon Rose was going to try to sign Jalen Brunson, the backup point guard. What wasn't leaked was that Leon Rose was going to try to sign the first team all NBA player, Jalen Brunson.
True, that is true.
But holy crap, big trade. Towns for Julius Randle, Dante Divincenzo, which just proves the worst thing you can do as a Knick is set the Knicks 3-point record because you're done playing for the Knicks right after that.
That is the death knell for being a Knick. Yeah.
Yes. Evan Fournier and Dante Divincenzo are in the small club of people that got banished after setting that record. The Knicks also traded a first-round pick because, of course, they didn't give up enough right there. The Detroit first-round pick, which has a lot of protections on it and will likely convey as a second-round pick.
Yeah.
And I guess there's some rumors also. I was listening to another show. They were pointing out that there is, because the Knicks and the T-Wolves are first apron teams, the salaries need to match better than they currently do. Mm-hmm. And so the Knicks still have to send out $8 million in salary. Charlotte is supposedly involved some way in this trade. The Knicks may send out more players.
I thought that was Jeffries.
No, yeah, Daquan Jeffries has been sent out. We're going to do a whole separate episode in honor of his time as a Knick. I don't think that was enough. He wasn't getting paid enough. That was just more money. There's rumors it could be like Mitchell Robinson or some combination of other guys they've gotten. There's more to come with this trade, basically.
I mean, that could be
already made.
Either Campaign or Shamet. You don't need both of them.
Can you trade a guy you just signed?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it depends. I thought there was a rule about like waiting until like mid-December before you could trade guys you just signed.
That's like every NBA rule is like it depends.
Yes, they're like, oh, but you didn't see. We agreed that if Minnesota and the Knicks make a trade 2 weeks prior to camp, and Karl Anthony Towns is involved, it's okay. And like you read you're like, what the hell are you talking about? And they send you like the
CBA.
the NBA, the CBA, and you're like, nope, it's in there. Wow, yeah. This is a really long document.
All right, so
it looks like LeBron can do whatever he wants. Also,
they can't be throwing in Mitch too. That's not a throw-in. That's like now the Knicks don't have a center again.
Well, they do have a center because Karl Anthony Towns is the center.
He was such
I
a
know
good
he's
center that Minnesota got a center.
yes, but I think the idea. So I've been thinking a lot about this trade.
Yeah.
I have going through a lot of emotions on this trade.
Yeah, it's been a roller
but
coaster.
a roller coaster of emotions. Jay, you going through? What's your reaction, Jay? Before I go into this.
Originally, I hated it so much. was my second favorite guy on the team.
Yes.
I liked Randle. I wanted to see the whole Villanova crew play together. It was like so exciting when they like got the last piece of the Infinity Gauntlet and then they didn't even get to play together.
Yeah.
I also think I'm more upset about the Dante part. I think that his role on the team was kind of overlooked a little bit, but his defense was so good. I mean, everyone focused on his 3-point shooting, but he played really good defense too.
He was a great two-way player. He did everything.
Yeah, he was healthy. It's tough. Randle, we've talked about Randle. I'm a fan. I think he's really good. You can argue Towns is better. He's definitely a better shooter. He spreads the floor. He does get more rebounds than Randle. His injury history is what scares the hell out of me. Everyone's talking about OG and Mitch being injury prone, and Towns has played less games over the last 5 years than both of them. So now you have 3 injury prone guys in your starting lineup.
Well, it's great because that way the trainer's room will have some of the best players on your team.
Yeah.
Everyone can get like we can do the what if game. If only these guys were healthy, we'd win the title.
I mean, I feel like it probably raises their ceiling a bit, but it's also just this huge injury gamble, and you need like a perfect healthy season from these guys for it to work. And
I'm gonna give a little counter on this, and also I've been arguing for a long time that Randle is just better than Towns.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get this trade at all, but I'm gonna argue in favor of the trade. So first up, I think the Knicks looked at what the Celtics did, and the Celtics, you look at them, and they got a true stretch 5 in Porzingis, a guy that could really score, who big guy, he can do some rim protection, okay defender. And I think they said, like, let's get that. We need a true stretch 5 who is a guy that the other team has to worry about as far as scoring.
Yeah.
Also, Towns' defense, it's very maligned, but he was the guy guarding Jokic in the playoffs. He's gotten better as a one-on-one defender, and you don't need as much from him if you have 2 world-class threes with OG and Mikal Bridges anchoring the defense. You need less from him. Plus, I know the first time didn't work out quite as well, but I think he's probably a more mature player now, and so Tibbs might get through to him a little more, especially because the whole team is so focused on defense. And the culture, even without Divincenzo, the vibes should still be immaculate.
I do think he's improved on defense, and he's shooting over 40% from 3, which really will stretch the floor. I just think I'm just really concerned about the injury history.
Okay, so you're concerned about the injury history, and that makes sense. So who is he replacing? Who is Towns replacing? Who's the main guy he's replacing here?
Randle.
Okay, so Randle was awesome in the playoffs this last. Oh, he wasn't in the playoffs. He was injured.
Yeah, but that was
the
a
year
fluke.
before. He was awesome in the play. Oh, he wasn't playing because he was injured.
Yeah, but those were
Guys
freak
get
injury
injured.
things. Like,
So guys get injured. Towns is a New Jersey product, so he is from the area. Hopefully, he'll be excited to play for his home team. Also, early in his career, he played every game. 3 straight seasons, he played 82 games. Played year 4, he played 77 games. First 4 years, he was a lock to play. COVID hit. He had some injury issues. Also lost a number of family members to COVID. A lot of just shitty stuff happened to him. 2 years ago, 21-22 season, he was back to playing 74 games. This year, he played 62 games. The year before, he played 29. I don't know. At least last year, he was mostly healthy. I don't know. I think I'm just saying, like, guys get injured, especially at that age. So Towns is about to turn 29. Randle's 30. Either guy is an injury risk. And as much as I like Randle and been saying Randle's better, Towns is, on offense, no question, Towns is a better offensive player. And with this team, especially and having a stretch big five, it's going to open things up. It should be pretty interesting. It's a dynamic this team hasn't had yet.
They could go 5 out with all shooters now, which is a look that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, it's a really, and the great thing, like with the Celtics, when Porzingis was playing on, he drew your five away from the basket and opened things up because you had to respect Porzingis' outside shooting. Same thing with Towns. Towns, it's not like Towns just had like one good, like Randle shot 40% from 1 year from three. This is Towns' shooting percentage year over year.
Right.
He shot, I think, 34% in his first year, then 36, 42, 40, 41, 38, 41, 36, 41. He generally shoots between 5 and 6 threes a game. He is a very good three-point shooter.
He is.
He's a guy that's going to draw the centers away from the basket and open things more up for Brunson, open things more up for Bridges. The offense is going to look better. You sacrifice something on defense. Mitch was going to be. The problem is that once we weren't getting Hartenstein, we were going to have an issue at center. And so the solution, Mitch is going to be out till January. Mitch is going to be injured every year. He's a huge injury. He's always going to be an injury problem. Sims, Precious, you don't have much in terms of center. What were our center options?
Yeah, that was. I mean, the center. I think they were going to go split the center minutes 3 ways. They're going to have a little bit of Randle at center, and then have Sims and Precious, and maybe some Morris.
Who would you rather at center? I mean, are you going to rather Randle or Cat?
Yeah, I'd rather Cat at center. I mean, especially in different matchups, like if the Knicks play Philly in the playoffs again, you're going to have Embiid away from the rim.
Yes.
Which is different. Until Embiid purposely injures Cat and nothing happens again. But before that, he's going to pull Embiid all the way out, and then the Knicks are going to just romp in the paint.
Cat is not a terrible one-on-one defender. I think no one's stopping Embiid. I think Cat could do as good a job as anyone. Or not. He'll do an okay job guarding Embiid. He won't shut him down or anything like that, but he'll do okay enough job. It's not like Randle would do a better job. We saw Mitch out there. It's not like Mitch did an amazing job guarding Embiid. Embiid's just going to be a problem. I don't know. I like this small ball center thing with Cat is interesting. I mean, it's also interesting that Minnesota was like, thank God we got rid of him. Not what they said, but they chose basically Naz Reid over him.
It's the contract also that scares me. I mean, $60 million a year, 3 years from now.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot.
But he'll get $60 million when he's 32 years old, so he'll still be in his arguable prime. There's always an injury risk. Brunson could have a major injury and break his leg to begin the season, and shit happens. Gordon Hayward, the Celtics signed him, 26 years old, in his prime, all-star, gets injured the first game of the season, is out the rest of the year. Shit happens.
Yeah. So the two things that made me feel a little bit better, which is why I'm glad we didn't do an instant reaction episode, because additional details always pop in later, and you got to wait a little bit. So rumor is that Randle wanted the max extension.
Yes, the Knicks were having trouble coming to terms with him. So what he would have gotten, 45, 50 million?
45. So
okay, so his contract wouldn't have looked that different from Towns.
Right. Right now we're comparing like 27 to 60, but 45 is not as bad.
Right. It would just be for this season because the Knicks had to re-sign him for the following year. So the difference isn't as great. So either way, you would have had a Randle big contract or a Towns big contract.
Right. And then the other rumor that's going around is that Dante was concerned about his role on the team after they got Bridges. He's probably getting moved to the bench. He'll be playing a smaller role, and he wasn't thrilled about that.
Whose job is it, do you think, in the Knicks organization to basically shit on any player immediately after they get traded? Like, is there one guy who has to put these rumors out there? Like,
right.
I mean,
it could be true. It could be true.
It could be true. Who knows? I mean, like, it seemed like the vibes were immaculate. He was playing with his college teammates, but I guess the rumor was that, like, he wasn't as excited about it as maybe we thought. And probably because Bridges came and he could foresee the fact that his minutes, like, he was getting major minutes, and he seems like he might be going to the bench with Bridges coming.
I mean, if I set in franchise record for threes, and then the team was like, yeah, we got somebody who overlaps with your minutes, we're going to move you to the bench, I'd kind of be like, what the hell, too?
Yeah.
Like,
I
don't
mean,
you think that would
that's-
earn, like, a starting role? So I could see that. So,
I have to. I hope Evan Fournier and Divincenzo had a conversation. Just
yeah.
like, yeah. I mean, like, I know. I thought it'd be pretty good for me until I was benched by Tibbs, and at least you have to go to another team and play.
Yeah. So, I mean, if those rumors are true, it makes this whole thing sound a little bit better. So that calmed me down a bit.
Here's a question for you. So
Yeah.
you're talking about also Towns' injury risk.
Yeah.
When is Randle coming back?
I thought he was coming back in November.
It sounded like he wasn't going to be ready for training camp. At least maybe
Yeah.
like a little bit, maybe December. How excited do you feel about giving a major deal to Randle coming off this major injury? At least Towns is coming off being healthy.
Didn't he have knee surgery, like, very recently?
Oh, God. Is that true?
Yes. Didn't he rush
Are you
back?
sure about that?
And didn't he rush back from that surgery?
Oh, yes, he did, but he played. He played. This you're acting like it just happened.
Well, it happened last season, didn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, like, he actually played
And he rushed
afterwards.
back, and he was in pain while he was playing, right?
Yeah, but he played in the playoffs. I don't
Okay.
know. He played. He came back to the NBA. Like he finished the season playing game. Like it wasn't like in the playoffs he couldn't play. He was able to play. It beats the guy that couldn't get on the court, and now we're giving him my view on Randle was I'm very excited to get him back, but I prefer to have given him the big contract after he showed he could play again, or so. I don't know. The Knicks are going all in this season. At some point, we were talking last season about how like the Celtics and some other teams have gone all in. They pushed all their chips in, and they said to win it all, we have to go all in.
Mm-hmm.
And the Knicks were sitting there with a bunch of draft picks, a bunch of assets to move, and hadn't gone all in. Knicks have gone all in now, right?
Oh, they're 100% all in. I thought
All
the
in.
Bridges move was the all-in move, but
Apparently you're wrong.
Yeah, apparently that was the pre-all-in move.
That was the pre-all-in. These two moves are really push your chips into the center and just say, okay, let's call it.
They are locked in cap-wise. Like,
They are locked in.
they have
I mean,
no
they were-
flexibility now.
but they were locked in cap-wise either way.
Yes. I just,
There was
yeah. I think
I mean, like-
we're on the same page. We wanted to see what the roster could have done as
they looked
constructed.
so good in that January period after they got OJ. That
Yeah.
17-2 run. I wanted to see more of that.
And
I
then
also
adding
wanted to see that
Bridges
with
to that.
Bridges.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Whatever.
Yeah.
I guess it is what it is. This sounds like Leon Rose knows a lot more about basketball than I do. Not as much as doesn't know as much as Jay does, but knows more than me. He thinks this is a good idea. How many moves has Leon Rose made that were wrong? Not a lot.
no, they were all in his first season.
Yeah,
There was
the
like
first-
5 moves, and they were all his first 5 moves.
You could say Obi. You could say like when he resigned everyone in the offseason, like he made some gambles that he thought would work out, but he's made just had some home run moves also. I mean, from obviously Brunson. Dante was only here for a year, but Dante signing was amazing. Even the Deuce McBride, like there's so many moves he's made that have just worked out. OG has worked out really well. Like even Precious has worked out really well. Like and Hardenstein worked out well. Unfortunately, we couldn't. Hardenstein worked out so well that another team basically backed up a Brinks truck to sign him.
I'm glad we didn't record this podcast last night.
Why?
We were much angrier last night. And
I was immediately like it was a combination of watching the Mets lose against the Brewers and like just my doom and gloom for the Mets and not making the playoffs is really high right now. And then I see this trade that I'm like, I have to say, of players I want on the Knicks, I think Towns was number 357. I really did not want Towns on the Knicks. But you know, he's a Knick now. I'm so excited for him to be a Knick now because he's a Knick. You're a Knick. We root hard for you, and I hope he's awesome.
Nomad says Robinson and a late first for Pirtle. Thoughts?
What do you think?
I don't mind Pirtle, and I mean, obviously Robinson is much more important defensively. on the other hand, I think you have to assess what his deal is. Is he coming back? Is this just going to keep happening again? I don't know.
I would like to have a defensive center, and to be like at some point to be able to actually use.
Like Pirtle is a really good rebounder. I don't know how good defensively he is.
He's not that great defense.
Yeah.
I don't love the move. Also, I don't know if the Raptors are going to do that either. So, I would like to see if they can get if Charlotte's involved in this trade, maybe we can get Nick Richards somehow.
Yeah, I think Charlotte's more on the receiving end of all this stuff, but that would be nice.
I mean, can't they just be like, come on, just like Charlotte, you're terrible anyway. Let us just take a player from you. It's not like you're gonna win games, Charlotte.
Just
come
be like,
on.
pretend we're the Lakers and help us out for absolutely no reason.
We'll get you playoff tickets. Come on.
Yeah. So, I mean, as long as like another important player doesn't go out in this trade, I think I'll be able to get off the ledge on this.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, as to criticize Randle, one thing people criticize him for is he's not the most efficient player. On offense, Towns is wildly more efficient.
Nick said he heard rumors that Divincenzo and Bridges didn't get along great at Nova.
Oh, that's interesting.
And that's a reason why he wasn't a constant on the Roommates podcast.
Oh, well, I mean, he was on the show. He did an episode, but yeah, you would have thought he would have been on more often. You know, my understanding is Josh Hart was a dick to everyone on the team.
I could see that.
But so they're saying Bridges and him didn't get along as well.
Bridges and Dante.
Bridges and Dante. So when Bridges got here, Dante wasn't as excited.
Right.
I mean, who knows? So first of all, I know you always talk about having a team B that you refer besides the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota's now my team B. Like,
Yeah.
if RJ has success in Toronto, whatever. I do want to see Randle and Divincenzo have a lot of success in Minnesota. I would love to see the Knicks play the T-Wolves in the finals.
That would be amazing.
That would be insane.
So the Knicks bench is what we've been saying is the deepest in the league now. It's still
Not
a good
so
bench.
much.
Yeah, it's still a good bench, but it's not this crazy deep bench now.
It's so okay. So the starting lineup. Let's talk about what do you think the starting lineup is? Because I think I might zag where you zigzag. Okay, so the ones that are agreed upon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we're starting Jalen Brunson. I'm sure we're starting Mikal Bridges and OG.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think we could go out on a limb and start Towns too.
Okay, Towns is starting.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question is who starts at the 2 or 4 or whatever number they try. There's whatever they put him. Who's the fifth starter?
I think the fifth starter is Mitch when he comes back, but while Mitch is injured,
Really?
yeah.
I don't think Mitch. I don't know if the Knicks do as much of Towns and Mitch together. I think they're going to be like separate more.
I don't know. I mean, they played Gobert and Towns, and they got to the conference finals. So I think they're going to try and emulate something like that.
I kind of thought this was a move to have Towns more play the 5. But you're saying he'll be interchangeable a little bit?
Well, he took Randall's place, so I just think that makes sense.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so who starts while Mitch is out in your mind? I don't think Mitch is starting, but yeah.
I do, but yeah, while he's out, I think they're going to start McBride.
Okay. Oh, we settled. I thought you were going to say Josh Hart.
No, I think you need. I think Josh Hart is better at the 3 and 4 and not the 2. So I think he'll back up more Bridges and OG.
I mean, you could put Bridges at the 2 and OG at the 3, though I think you'd put OG at the 4 and Bridges at the 3.
Whatever.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It doesn't really matter.
Whatever.
They're 3 and 4. Yeah.
I think Josh Hart also seems like the guy who's going to be the first backup. Like he'll be the guy who backs up the 3, backs up the 4, and even back to I feel like he's just the guy. He's the guy you want the first off the bench. He's still going to play 30 minutes a night, but he seems like such a versatile player that you might want him off the bench than have him starting.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Deuce might operate better starting than coming off the bench.
Right. Also, that there's a lot of firepower in the starting lineup now, and
yes,
so I feel like McBride can just kind of hang out and jack up open threes.
He actually shot 40% from 3 last year. Mm-hmm. He can hit some threes.
Yeah.
You don't need quite as much, and you can still run 5 out with Deuce out there. So once you get past Josh Hart and Mitch, the bench gets interesting. So from there, The other centers obviously are Sims and I guess Precious.
Well, you have Morris too.
Morris, yeah, Morris is not officially signed yet. He's a
He
like
will
a-
be.
he will be though. Yeah, I mean, especially because now you definitely need you need a backup like power forward type.
Well, then
player.
you have an extra spot. They did a 2-for-1. Well, a 3-for-1. So they actually have room to sign these guys now.
I think that what was it? That's something like because they have a. I was thinking I heard someone say or read something that it was between him and Shamit for the last spot.
Okay.
I mean,
I think whoever plays better over Shamit and Payne is going to get.
yeah. Well, so I think Tyler Krolik is going to get minutes. I think he looked too good he looked too good.
Yes.
Okay.
So they still have like a deep team. It's just Dante was like a starter level talent coming off the bench, whereas now you have more bench level talent coming off the bench.
Right. Now you got campaigns, Landry Shamitz, if he's on the team. You got Kolek, who's gonna be a rookie who looked good in like summer league, but who knows how he'll look in actual games. You got Chuma Okiki, whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm.
You got a bunch of guys who are like, what? I mean, Jacob Toppin's probably not going to contribute. At least you don't have Charlie Brown coming off the bench.
Right.
You got the guy Kevin McCullough, who the hell knows? You got the other rookie Pacome Dadier. Who knows?
We're not going to see any of those guys.
I mean, you'll see them, I guess. Probably
We'll see them
in,
on the bench in a suit.
You'll see them in training camp.
Yeah. No. So the bench is going to be Hart, and then either McBride or Mitch.
Okay.
Right.
That's 7 guys.
Yeah.
And then maybe 2 more guys will get decent amount of minutes.
Right.
Campaign probably,
I think either Payne or Shamit
and Morris probably.
and Precious or Morris.
Oh, Precious is going to play. Yeah, I think Precious is going to play.
And then when the Knicks are up by 30, we'll see some Kolek action.
Yeah.
That's about
And
it.
it depends on how much he impresses in training camp, I guess, like or in practice.
Yeah.
'Cause I think he's a guy like his point guard skills, his passing skills are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And by the way, one thing I wanted to mention, one thing I will miss about Randle is I do think his passing skills were pretty good. I don't think Towns is nearly as good of a passer as Randle is, which I think does actually matter on this team.
Yeah. Right.
But,
People say Randall's a black hole. He did average over 5 assists a game. And I believe Towns' career average is under 3. I could be wrong.
3 or 4, maybe 3. But I mean, either way, I guess like Towns is now like we were talking about before with the injuries, how last year like Brunson, like there was no center of gravity to take the defenders away from Brunson. Now defenders have to, like Towns is going to draw double teams. Bridges are going to draw guys. Like there's too many guys that are, just have to be like draw the attention of the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be one of the best offenses in the NBA.
Yeah. I think
Top
the
10
initial
defense and top 10 offense.
I think once the initial shock wears off, I'm gonna really turn around on this team. It was 2 guys I really liked leaving, and a guy
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of coming. So it's tough, but on paper the starting lineup is really good, and the bench is still decent.
I have to say, so many people that I know outside of Jay are just really have been anti-Randle and wanted Randle gone. And I've just been like defending Randle. I like Randle. I think he gets too much shit. I mean, the guy's a 3-time All-Star, and like Knicks fans still give him shit. It's tough to lose him, and he's also like the team was a joke before Randle came here. We had such misery. He's really helped turn the team around.
Yeah, he was part of the Knicks renaissance, and I'll always appreciate that. And I mean, yes, Randle was overhated. Maybe we're overrating him, but the hate he got was absolutely ridiculous, especially when you see all the love
ridiculous.
Frank and Knox and all these just trash players got. Like the hate for Randle was ridiculous.
Was ridiculous. I would say, yeah, the hate for him was ridiculous. I love Dante. I hate losing Dante. One thing I have to say also is like the Bridges trade happened, and we were like, this is awesome. Well, it's going to be the entire summer before we get to see them play. So like, you get excited, but then you have to like put your excitement aside.
Mm-hmm.
I am an 11 as far as interest level to see how these guys play together. And next week is the first game. The 6th is the first preseason
It's
game.
crazy how
the season
quick it's
starts in
coming
a few weeks. Like, tell me you're not dying to see how these guys play together.
Yeah, no, it's going to be very exciting. So we thought in the playoffs last year, if the Knicks didn't have injuries, they had a legit shot to go all the way. And when you look at it like this, they lost Randle and Dante, and they got Bridges and Towns.
And you also didn't have Randle in the playoffs, so they were well, yeah. I guess if everyone was healthy, but they looked pretty good in the playoffs without Randle the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, they're still in the mix for the best in the East, and
Absolutely.
Horford retired, and the Celtics didn't really replace him.
I didn't even realize Horford retired, but thank you, Horford. I appreciate that.
So their thin front line, which did work in the playoffs last year, though. Now you got the injury-prone Porzingis and no Horford. Now you're depending on big minutes from like Tillman, and I don't even know.
I don't know. Knicks had the second best record last year. Philly has gotten better. I like this squad. I mean, as much as I didn't love this trade. I feel like I'm going to trust Leon here. He freaking knows what he's doing. This team is going to be, I guess, in year 2, they basically sacrificed defense for offense with like the Fournier move, and they also got what's his name, the point guard, and it didn't work out. And again, here they've sacrificed. I guess I don't know if they sacrificed a little bit of defense because you lost Dante. I don't know. This move.
Well, but you got Bridges, who's a really
Bridges
good defender, so it's not that big of a loss. Like Bridges and Dante are probably similar on defense as well as Randle and Towns. So defensively, it's not that different.
I mean, and you have OG now for the full season. Hopefully healthy OG. I mean, between having OG and Mikal Bridges on the floor at the same time is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, and Bridges, he's also a very efficient player. He's a guy that can score 20 a game also, though he won't be needed to in this offense. But like, we've moved out guys who are inefficient, moved in guys that are efficient. We added 3 guys. We have everyone. We can do a 5 out on 3 with 3-point shooting. It's a dynamic offense. It's interesting. Brunson's still going to cook. And now we gave Brunson more space to cook.
Yeah. I mean, the pick and roll with Brunson and Towns should be awesome.
Yeah, I'm assuming basically Towns plays at least 25 minutes a night at center.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. Maybe they mix it up, but I think he's going to do extended minutes at center.
Well, I also think all the times Brunson picked and popped, it's going to go to somebody who's shooting 6-7% better from 3.
Yes.
Which is going to be great to see. So
I mean Dante's 3-point shooting is going to be missed, but it's not like we've replaced him with guys that can't shoot 3. Everyone. I mean, Bridges is a good 3-point shooter. I guess Hart maybe is the weakest of them, though he can shoot 3s at times. Bridges can. Deuce can shoot. There's a lot of 3-point shooting on this team.
I mean, Bridges is a career 37.5% 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
So.
And guys are going to have open shots, lots of open shots.
And Towns was shooting 41% last season. So, as awesome as Dante was, Randle was not a good 3-point shooter. You could argue that the Knicks are actually better from 3 this season.
Yes, yeah, you can definitely make the argument because as many shots as Dante was taking, other guys will take that, but you also now guys will take Randle shots and they'll go in basically.
Mm-hmm.
Randle's great. I like his rebounding. Towns when Towns plays center, he's a hell of a rebounder. He's not a bad rebounder. He's just not a rim protector. I mean, so the big thing also was Tibbs coached this guy in Minnesota. They apparently the biggest issue of all was Tibbs and Towns. Towns did not like being coached by Tibbs, and I guess led the charge, or he was the loudest voice in getting rid of Tibbs. But they have to have worked things out. I can't imagine Leon doesn't go to Tibbs and get his sign off on this.
Well, they clearly didn't go to Towns because he tweeted ... after the trade, so he clearly didn't know what was going on.
Maybe he suspected this was going to happen. I don't know.
That's not usually a tweet that you do when you sit oh yeah, of course this is going to happen. Like,
Hopefully he's like, you know what? I don't have to play in Minnesota. He's like, I had a great run in Minnesota. We were great last year, but I get to live in New York, not Minnesota. I get to play with the team I hopefully he rooted for the Knicks growing up.
yeah, yeah. So overall, like, I feel better. I'm glad we did this podcast today.
This was like therapy for us.
A little bit, yeah, yeah.
I'm just doing my best to like try to see the like it's not doom and gloom. We just got one of the best offensive big men ever, much less the best offensive big men in the NBA right now. His defense is probably not as bad as we think. He's gotten better as a one-on-one defender. We got Bridges and OG. If guys can stay healthy, this team's going to be awesome. Absolutely awesome.
So I was at the last playoff game of the season last year.
So was I.
Guess what jersey I bought?
You bought a Divincenzo?
Yes, I did.
You screwed us, huh?
Yep. Also, have you heard of the Shamet curse?
What is he doing? A Kardashian?
So 3 years in a row, the team who got Shamet lost in Game 7 of the second round. Three teams in a row.
Okay, whatever. Then maybe take Morris over Shamet. I don't know how much Shamet's going to give. I'd probably rather have Campaign than Shamet anyway. Play those minutes.
A couple of years ago, Campaign had some good minutes. For Phoenix?
Did he play for Milwaukee one of those years also?
I mean, he's hopped around, but I
hopped
think he had some good minutes on Phoenix.
I think we're going to be surprised. I'm going to tell you one thing. I think we're going to be surprised how many minutes Tyler Kolek plays and how good he looks.
Well, if the Knicks are blowing out teams left and right, it's Kolek.
They might be actually. So
they might. I mean, I'm not like joking about that.
This team looks really interesting. I think like most teams don't have a center that's going to be an issue here. Like you could have Towns on the center. You could have, I mean, who are the centers that are going to be a problem? Embiid, Jokic, whatever. Like there's only a few centers that are going to be problems, and they're problems for everyone.
Right. The East is not as big, man.
Jericho Sims is like, wait, what happened? Wait, I thought I was gonna play. I'll go to the bench again. I got big muscles. I can jump high.
So the ESPN picks the Knicks to finish in 6th with 46 wins. What is
prior to this? Two things. First of all, they made that pick before this trade happened, and also there's not a single person that knows anything about the NBA still left working at ESPN.
They laid off Zach Lowe.
Holy shit! How do you lay off Zach Lowe? How do you lay off Zach Lowe?
By far the most knowledgeable guy at that entire network. It's really just a channel of screaming idiots now. Zach
Lowe, by the way, I know you have your own podcast. That's 8 million times more popular than our show. But if you ever want to join our show, we'll hire you. Jay will pay you in newsletters and board games.
So, yeah,
I think we're wrapping up here.
I'm still going over on 46.
The Knicks are winning 50 games this year, no question.
Yeah.
No question, 50 games. I think they're gonna have the second best record. Maybe first best record. The Knicks are going to have a good year. We're in for an awesome regular season, and a season is going to say like the Knicks are going to play so well this regular season. The expectations are finals or bust. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Celtics are going to miss Horford more than people realize.
I think that's Horford. I did not realize Horford retired, and I'm surprised because he looked good in the play. He looks good every season. He doesn't seem to like get too old. KP is going to be out for a little while still. I don't know. I think the Knicks, the more I've thought about the fact that the Knicks are kind of following the KP at the center model that the Celtics did and became unstoppable, Knicks are going to be interesting this year.
Yeah.
Drawing the center away from the basket is going to be really tough on teams.
That was a false rumor about Horford. Never mind.
Okay, well, I hate you, Jay.
Well, he's going to be 39, so he probably won't be that good.
Okay, well, that's great. Do you have any false rumors also? Is Towns not on a Nick? You just gave me a false rumor also?
I'm really glad that Twitter's new thing is just allow as much fake news as possible with no repercussions. I love that.
No filters whatsoever.
It's all about free speech. You're free to say whatever you want. Say Horford's retiring. That's fine.
They were like, Horford retired. from playing chess. Oh, thought we meant basketball. Sorry. Okay, so we'll do another show soon. We're back now doing regular shows. Training camp is starting. Super excited for training camp. This will also be our last season doing the podcast. Jay and I have decided that we've said before, if the Knicks win the title, we'll stop doing the show. We're going all in this year and saying the Knicks are going to win the title, and either way, the show's done after the season. This is our last year.
So
we're actually retiring, unlike Horford.
Right. So let's just assume that there was a Knicks podcast curse, and we're breaking the curse, and our last episode will be the Knicks championship.
Exactly. Okay, we'll be back soon.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for joining. Like Mark said, we'll be doing regular shows from here on out. We just needed the summer off to regroup. Started a newsletter. If you want to join that, thebrinkofsanity.substack.com. And we do have a comedy show called The Brink of Sanity. You can check that out. Email us, nyknickspodcast@gmail.com. We're nyknickspodcast on Twitter and patreon.com/nyknickspodcast. And nyknickspodcast and everything, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
If they want to sign up for your Substack, what is it?
thebrinkofsanity.substack.com. And so we'll be seeing you throughout the season. So
yes,
let's go.
We are hoping to have the greatest season of Knicks podcast ever with the best offense in the NBA.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
So we'll see you soon. Take care, everybody.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave.